Hello. If you are curious on how to get into grooming, or if you're looking to get certified in grooming, you are in the right spot. I'm Nick. I'm the founder of Groomers University, and I will walk you through everything. The purpose of this call is to give you a little bit of a background on me and on Groomers University, and I'll talk about the company, and I'll show you how we operate. We'll walk you through the whole program, how it works. No matter what, you'll learn a lot about the industry and you'll walk away from this webinar either ready to get started, or maybe you'll be like, meh, this actually isn't for me and I actually don't really want to work with animals all day. If it is a good fit, I'll show you how you can sign up and get started. No pressure at all. We've trained lots of groomers really effectively, really quickly. And if you want to learn how to groom quickly, then you are definitely in the right spot. So I'm Nick. I'm the founder of Groomers University. I'm also the founder of a mobile grooming company called Furryland. We are nationwide. We are mobile grooming. So we show up to your house and groom your pet. I'm also the owner of a Fetch Pet Care here in Las Vegas, and I am very in tune with grooming and the pet care industry. I've dedicated my life to it. Nationwide, our franchise Furryland has hundreds of groomers that work for us. In Las Vegas alone, we have a team of almost 20 groomers. Christina, who works in my office with me, she knows better than I do. She keeps track of all that stuff. But if you work with us, you'll be working quite a bit with Christina as well. At one point, I was a consumer for all these products and services that I offer. And then I was a worker and working in the mobile industry in vans. And then I got my own vans and I'm now the owner and I sit at my desk. I'm behind all this stuff. So I do want to tell you a little bit deeper about me. First of all, I am Canadian. I'm from Toronto, Canada, where I was born and raised. I was a computer nerd for the majority of my life. In 2007, after I had some big travels, which took me around the world, like Southeast Asia and Australia, I moved back to Toronto and I didn't want to live there anymore. So I moved out to the west coast of Canada to a ski town called Whistler. It hosted the Olympics in 2010, which I had a part of. A very cool experience. And when I was in Whistler, I opened up a hospitality, party, and events company, which did well. So I expanded that company down here to Las Vegas. What better place to expand a party company than Las Vegas, right? So I moved here in 2011, ran my party company. As time went by, I realized that I just didn't want to party anymore. I stopped drinking. I had my first daughter, and that line of work just wasn't very fulfilling. So I started to look around for another career that would be more fulfilling and something that would make me happy every day and at the end of every day. What a novel idea, right? Actually being fulfilled at the end of every day. But that I've for sure noticed happens to a lot of people. As time goes by, you just get really sick of unfulfilling work. And if you've ever woken up and thought, I really don't want to do this anymore, I have been there. I was there. And I'm a big pet guy. So I love poodles the most. I had poodles growing up. My mom was a poodle lady, so it's in my blood. We had Peaches and Candy and Chloe and Champ, and I was looking at doing something new, and I looked at every industry, and I decided that I was going to open up a dog daycare, and I had a really specific requirement for what I wanted to do with my dog daycare. So I started to look around for a space, and long story short, the dog daycare that I wanted to open with like an indoor and an outdoor space with a centralized location, that was going to cost me over $1 million to open up. And I didn't know if it would work. And to be honest, that's a pretty big risk for everyone. So during this research and preparation for my dog daycare company, which lasted several months, I was very serious about it. I was trying to get one of my dogs groomed, and it became extremely difficult. Every groom shop and every mobile groomer that was in the area was completely booked up for weeks, months even. And most of them wouldn't even answer their phone. Every single dog groomer was booked up. By the way, this is my mom, and she passed away recently, so I wanted to include this photo of her because I miss her. But I travel a lot, and I started to do some research, and I started calling up grooming companies in Whistler, Canada, where I used to work a lot. Completely booked up. I'd call them up in LA, where I had a business, booked up. San Diego, booked. Miami, booked. Everywhere was booked. I could not believe it. So I started calling around the country to other cities like New York. I'd call Toronto. I'd call Calgary, New Orleans, particularly mobile groomers. The demand was clearly there. I know opportunity when I see it, so I ended up taking a big leap, and I opened up my mobile grooming company called Furryland, and we opened up in Vegas, and then I expanded to LA. And I really, really wanted to grow that company, so I ended up franchising it. And it was a several-year process, and I've teamed up with some really great partners to help turn Furryland into a global company. And we're about to open up our 60th Furryland, and so we've turned that, pretty significant. We'll end up expanding into Canada and Europe. And the demand is there even in like cities like Dubai. The demand is spiking. And so we're all over the country. We're still growing, and we're opening up at the rate of about one Furryland every 2 weeks or so. We're going into a new market. And with every new market that we open up, we ideally are hiring and training new groomers. So many of the groomers that we've trained from scratch. We do hire groomers that have experience, but we're definitely making the shift towards hiring from scratch. When I first opened up Furryland, we were only hiring experienced groomers. Most companies do that. And you have to come to a company with experience or a certificate. And some people that we were hiring were paying like $5,000 to be in like a 2-year long course to get trained in grooming, which is absurd because it's not rocket science and it doesn't need to take that long to learn. You just need to understand what to do and what not to do. And then you need practice. I had originally started up Furryland, and I didn't know how to groom, and I wanted to learn how to groom. So I took an expensive course in grooming, which was kind of a waste of my time. I won't say the name, but it was just silly. Like, it just cost a lot, and it was just really, really drawn out. It was way too long. It didn't particularly motivate me. It was just like pulling teeth. It was hard to sit through, and when I get into something, I like to go at my own pace. Most of the time, I usually like to go fast because I'm pretty busy. But sometimes, like, I can only work on certain days of the week. So there's a structure to our program, and at the same time, you do get to go at your own pace. So from me, instead of taking this like really, really drawn out course, here's me and a doggy. Instead of me taking this really, really drawn out course, I ended up working with some experienced groomers and learned way, way faster. And I started to put together the curriculum for Groomers University, which is just way more practical. It's completely online, so you can go at your own pace, and you'll learn the things that are most important first, which is why we call it the Grooming Bootcamp. It's because it's the essentials for grooming. It's the everything that you need to know and the foundation of grooming. And what we teach you like the number one things first, obviously. So you can become proficient in almost anything with 20 hours of work. But the problem is that most people wait like decades to start the first hour. And believe me, your first hour is for sure the scariest. But then after that, every hour just gets easier and easier. So we've divided pets into 4 levels. So a dog's going to fall within these 4 levels. So it would go from like a hairless Chihuahua all the way up to like a golden doodle show cut. 70% of all the breeds are levels 1 and 2. And so that's the first thing that we teach you. You'll be able to groom 70% of all breeds by taking this course, and you'll know exactly what to do and what order to do it, and probably more importantly, what not to do. You can always take your time with pets, but you can't exactly regrow hair instantly. So we make sure that you learn the right things first, and like specifically what not to do. And I've used this course to start training groomers that work in Furryland. Thailand, and it's been super, super successful. And we have trained countless groomers, and our curriculum has been expanding. And I think what like the most important thing is that like when somebody goes through our course, when they're done it, they're so ready to get started. If you speak to somebody who doesn't go through the course and you're like, oh yeah, we're going to train you how to be a pet groomer, they're completely clueless as to like where to start, what to do. When you're done this course, you're ready to go. So but before we get into grooming, we teach you a lot about what it is to groom dogs and to work with dogs. And there's a full vocabulary of things that you need to learn. Really easy stuff, but most of the terms are things that you would never use on a day-to-day basis when you're not in a grooming environment. So you'll learn like terminology, dog anatomy, all that. And the idea is that you're going to get a job or you're going to open up your own grooming salon, and you need to understand that stuff. And otherwise you'd be putting yourself and the pets at risk, and you might look silly if you start talking about things you don't know about. And obviously we want to look professional, right? So but after we teach you the anatomy and the physiology of the grooming, you'll have the knowledge that you need to follow along when we get into the most important module, which is safety. So safety is always first. But it's not just about the safety of the pets, but also about the safety about you, the groomer. So if you don't follow basic safety protocols, like you could end up with a career-ending injury. I'm very, very proud of our safety training. It's quite good, and we're making it better all the time. And then from there, we're going to get into the practical module of grooming. Practical module is actually teaching you how to get it done. That contains everything from how to communicate with the dog or cat, how to hold them, how to lift them, and then we show you all the tools that you need. We show you the different levels of each tool, how to select the ones that would be good for you, because tools are really both like a hammer and a nail and a paintbrush. They're very unique to individuals, and they come in all qualities, and we let you know where it's worth it to spend more money and where you can actually like save a little bit of money and go with more inexpensive tools. There's brushes and combs and clippers and shears and blades and files and Dremels and nail clippers, and we talk about all the products, the shampoos, the conditioners, the leave-in conditioners, dry shampoos, proper dilution, safety with the products, first aid care. We get into nail trimming, plucking ears, cleaning eyes, pre-bath shave downs, how to properly restrain the pets. We talk about oral hygiene, how to clean teeth, what kind of mouthwash you can use on your pets. We teach about anal gland and sanitary trims. We go through the whole bathing process of how to wash, bathe, sponge bathe in certain circumstances. And we get into the pet drying. And I have a bit of a joke that we're not actually in the pet grooming business. We're actually in the pet drying business. I make that joke because it just takes so long to dry a pet. You could have a beautiful, beautiful groom, but if you give the pet back to your client wet, they're not going to be happy. So we'll show you really effective and efficient ways of drying dogs. And there's a couple techniques that we have that can shave off like 15 minutes per dog. We found that some of the most successful groomers are the efficient groomers. And then we'll show you how to brush and fluff the dogs. One of the common things that we're going to deal with as pet groomers is mats and dreadlocks, and we show you specifically how to deal with super matted dogs. And you really have to be careful from both a pet safety perspective and a client satisfaction perspective, which will lead us into our last module, which is the business and the industry. So you'll often get clients that will give you like a fully matted dog and ask you to brush them out, which, while it's not impossible for you to do that, sometimes it's like most of the time we don't really advise it because it can tear on the pet's skin and it can just be very time consuming, and we really want to set the expectations of the client so they're not upset at the end of the groom. Dealing with matted dogs is a big part of what we do, and we'll go over how to do that. Those conversations with clients usually are going to go from, hey, your pet's matted, to, hey, this is how you can take care of your pet in between grooms, which I really promote that you do, because you really want to have clients You don't want to allow clients to let their pets get so bad that they have no choice but to bring them in. That's not ideal. When you train your clients, they become clients for life. They'll recur again and again. I have a client here in Vegas that is quite wealthy, and we groom their golden retriever Jack 3 times a week. Somebody in Jack's household is allergic to him, and so as a result, we're dealing with Jack 3 times a week, and it's over $100 a visit. And so obviously they appreciate the work that we do, and there's clients that behave like that. It's not uncommon to do a pet weekly. So actually, if you want to do a little bit of a math exercise here, if you look at what it takes to earn $100,000 in revenue, at an average of $100 a dog, which is actually quite low for most markets, particularly in mobile grooming, but you would need 6 dogs per day, 4 days per week, which is $120,000 a year. Let me repeat that. 6 dogs a day, 4 days a week. 50 weeks of the year, $120,000. Yeah. So, if your clients are recurring every 6 weeks, that's only 252 clients to make a gross of $120,000. 252 clients. Just to give you a bit of a perspective, here in Las Vegas, I have 28,000 clients. That's not dogs, that's clients. That's actually, technically, I have over 38,000 dogs. We have over 2,700 cats. We also have 11 other. That's like potbelly pigs and stuff like that. But my goal is to get more people in the industry, because like I can't serve 28,000 clients. It's just physically not possible. It's so underserved, but we could put thousands of people through this course and we would still be underserved. As a result, there's a huge opportunity in the space. The opportunity is for both employees and for business owners. Our course will teach you some of the economics of grooming, what it's like to work in the industry, the difference between owning your own shop, going mobile, or working in an animal shelter. We let you know some of the challenges that we'll see. We're not just experts in grooming; we're experts in the industry. We've been on the edge, shaping the industry to what it is today. So I've recently released this course to the public. It was a private course for a long time. Course consists of the physiology and anatomy. Then it covers the safety module, the practical module, and the business and industry module. All of our learning is online. And when it's time to groom, we have lots of resources for you to get externships, positions, hands-on experience. We would love it if you came and worked for a furry land for your hands-on training, or even open up a furry land. But of course, no pressure. You don't have to do that. But we have partners all over North America and Canada. That's obviously part of North America, but yes, in Canada, and small towns, big cities, we work with everybody. So our network is pretty big because there's just a lot of grooming shops that know our training, and we'll say to them, hey, we have someone who just went through Groomers U. They're looking to get an externship. What can you offer? And usually you are going to be in a position where you can actually select your best offer. I do want to talk a little bit about Christina as well, because when you work with us, you'll also work with Christina. She's our community manager. So meet Christina. Yeah. So let me go back here. Christina, she's not available right now, but she has worked with me for 5 years. 5 years. She knows grooming like the back of her hand. She does a lot of the lessons. She does a lot of our filming and our social media, and she's great. So she also does our weekly webinars, and she's usually the point person for a lot of stuff. I am also available for a lot of any questions that you may have along the way. You're not just signing up for a course, you're really joining a community, and you have lifetime access to it. So anything you need, we are here for you. We have these weekly workshops, which are included, that cover the in-demand topics. They're in webinar format, and you can ask questions during those sessions, and you can submit your work, and we can critique it. These webinars are where we are really getting to the nitty-gritty. They're incredibly helpful, incredibly useful. Every week we cover a new topic, and they're recorded, and we're adding them to the course. So sometimes I'm leading the webinars. Sometimes it's Annalise. Sometimes it's Maxie. We have a lot of our skilled groomers teach these webinars, and the topics vary from week to week. Like, for example, we recently had a safety meeting when the respiratory virus became prevalent in the grooming industry. We have scissor sessions. We go into deep detail about grooming a specific pet. We have live grooming sessions. We have special guest speakers that specialize in Asian fusion grooming. If you're not familiar with Asian fusion grooming, it's a very cool style of grooming, a bit complex, but gaining popularity big time. The value of these weekly webinars alone is enough to be a game changer for you. But we really try to engage the community quite a bit, and we've had some. We also do have some challenges that we will push to the group, and we have like member break-off sections and smaller groups. So we try and keep everybody like on their toes with that. The course is one thing, but these weekly meetings, they're really something else. They've got a lot of value. In fact, a lot of people find the main value in the weekly webinars, especially people who have some experience in grooming. But we also have updates and tweaks on the course every month, so you have access to all those updates. It's an ever-expanding course, and we try not to bog you down with too much information. We're trying to be concise, so when it comes to new course material, we always try and keep it clean. But again, you'll learn so much from each one of these sessions that we do. And of course, when you're done, at the end, you get a certificate of completion from Groomers U, which makes it so much easier to break into the industry. You'll get a digital copy, but what a lot of our students do is they like print them on a nice piece of paper, hang them up, put them in their salons, and put them in their email signatures, and that's the idea. So. I'd like to also introduce Annalise. This is Annalise here. She is one of our skilled groomers and instructors. She is in a lot of our video content. She does some of the webinars and some of the workshops, and you will get to know her as well. And let me talk about the industry for a second. So the grooming industry has major issues right now. So there was a lot of explosive growth during COVID, and everyone got dogs and everybody raised their prices. And you used to be able to get dogs groomed for like $45, and that's not really the case anymore, especially with mobile. It's practically impossible to get a dog groomed for under $100. We charge $90 to our legacy clients that are like short-haired dogs that weigh like 5 pounds. New clients, a short-haired 5-pound dog is $100. A Yorkshire Terrier, which is a very, very common but tiny dog, they're $110 to $125. And there are markets that are way more expensive. Like LA, add 40% to the prices. It's crazy. But the demand rose so much, and so many groomers have retired. So now is the time to get into the industry. There's just a lot of like not amazing groomers out there, and there's so much opportunity right now. If you look 2 years down the road, the supply of groomers will probably start to meet the demand, and it's going to be more competitive. So it's going to be harder to break into the industry down the road, because once you earn a client, as I mentioned, you tend to keep that client for a long time. So now is the opportunity. I can call up any one of my anybody in my grooming network, and I can see if they're hiring, and they are. I'm always hiring too. I have a pretty good team right now. Actually, scratch that. I have a very good team right now, but I do know countless employers that cannot get rid of bad groomers because they don't have anyone to replace them. And so they're putting up with like no call, no shows. They're putting up with substandard grooms. They're putting up with rude demeanors to clients. And that's, it's important that we get more good people in the field and quickly, because the opportunity is now. It's not 2 years ago. It's not in a year. The real opportunity is right now. So yeah, that's the situation in the industry. So let's just get to what it costs to get started. So I do have a special for everyone. I'm testing this price. I'm probably not going to have this last, but for reference, I once paid $5,000 for a course that had about half as much value as this, but I really wanted to make it easy to get in because the industry is lacking groomers. So instead, I originally set the price for $34.97, and that included the full course, the certificate, the weekly workshops, the access to our online community, and access to the groomers. Christina, myself, and any of the other guests that we bring through. But then I wanted to offer a very big discount, and so I have been offering it for $997. And there's another couple courses that I have that are in the pipeline, which you'll have access to as well once they are released. But you can sign up for $997. And that's actually the cost of what about 8 or 9 dogs. Grooming eight or nine dogs is going to get you $997. So I really wanted to make this a no-brainer. So you also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So that's the 4 modules, the 113 lessons, the certificate of completion, the weekly workshops, the access to our online community, and access to all of our team. And some people, they finish the course in a weekend, and other people, they finish it in like 6 weeks. But it's really, really easy to get started. So to get started, you just process your credit card. You'll input your username and your password on your behalf, and you can change it later. And you just log into Groomers U, and you'll have instant access to the course, and you can start going through it right away. You self-check off all the course lessons as you go along. There are some quizzes and some assessments that you have to pass in order to get to the next part, but it's all at your own speed. And we'll be emailing you every week. Those emails will have links to the webinars, but as soon as you get started, you can get started as soon as you sign up. So some people, like I said, finish it in as fast as a weekend, but most people take a couple weeks. That's up to you. So that's the situation. I'm very excited. I do hope that you sign up. Just click the link at the bottom to get started, and you are good to go. If you have any questions, I'm always available. But yeah, that's the story. That's Groomers University. I hope that I've explained it to everybody properly, and you understand what you're getting into. But it's definitely a game changer in your life. So that's it. I will sign off. Thank you so much for taking the time.